What up, y'all? Irie-fan-geek here. I'm going to do a 2023 wrap-up on the Padres season, my thoughts and opinions. AJ just had his first kind of little press conference via Zoom about a few hours ago, and kind of want to give my opinions. I was kind of hoping AJ would lose a job. I had a feeling he was going to keep it at least through 2024. And they had this kind of vibe that he's kind of on the hot seat, but, no one's ever going to say anything. Just like AJ's never going to tell the media who he's going to fire. They kept asking the same questions to him. And I'm like, dude, come on. Like, when we had Tingler, he was sitting there saying that he could see him being the manager of the Padres for the next 7 years. And then the very next day he was gone. Fired. He's not going to throw the guy under the bus who's going to probably lose his job before he loses his job. You guys get what I'm saying? But anyways, the media, I don't know. I understand them asking the question once, but there was like 3 or 4 questions there. They just kind of asked the same thing, but in a different way, and it's kind of wasted time. My opinions on what went wrong with 2023 was just the bottom of the roster. It became the other team's strategy to not give the major four anything really good to hit. If you watched a lot of the at-bats, you just see, especially Fernando, he never got really anything really good to hit. And I expected him to have a down year because he missed a year and a half. Straight up. I predicted 28 home runs and around a 260, 265 average at the beginning of the year for Fernando, and he almost hit that. So, next year I expect, better numbers. It was Trent Grisham, it was Austin Nola, it was Cruz and Carpenter, it was hard to say, Jake Cronenworth. They moved them positions. And when you move a player positions, I do believe it affects them offensively. Jake's approach to the plate totally changed when he went to first base. The same thing happened back with Will Myers when they got Eric Hosmer. They moved Will Myers to the outfield, and it ruined his legs. It started the whole injury thing with Will Myers. He was all-star that year, and they went and got a first baseman, and that's AJ's problem is offensive construction. He's proven in the past to find pitchers on the down low for cheap that do good here. But as far as building an offense, he gets the wrong players. People say you can't build a World Series team by going to the free agents all the time, but I think you can. It's just you got to go get the right pieces. You got to, like we need right now a center fielder, a legit first baseman, and a legit DH. It's something that we haven't had in a few years. And he got Xander Bogaerts, our fourth shortstop, including Jackson Merrill. So it just it doesn't make any sense. And I like Xander Bogaerts. He's a good player. He's one of the best on our team, stat wise, unfortunately this year. But we just didn't need another shortstop. It's just unfortunate, none of the guys at the bottom of the lineup performed at all, and I've been over Trent for the past 3 years, like even on his good year, I was like, yeah, he's all right, but he strikes out a lot, but as long as he stays around 246, that's okay. But he's last 2 years under 200, and he's a Gold Glove, but that means that he should be a defensive replacement. You can't be a starting center fielder and bat under 200. There has never been a World Series winning team with a center fielder that's bat under the Mendoza line and won the World Series. Coach John and Braden over at 97.3 did a study on that very topic. They looked into teams the past 50 years or whatever. Every World Series winning team's starting center fielder batted over 240, at the bottom of the list was Cody Bellinger in 2020 on that 60-game season, and that don't count. He batted like 236 that year, and that was after his shoulder surgery and everything. And just what I'm getting at is you can't be a World Series competing team with the center fielders playing every day batting under 200. It's never been done. It would be the first time in history if you make it to the World Series with starting center fielder batting under 200. And So we need a center fielder, and I would love to go get Cody Bellinger. He's figured it out. His shoulder feels better, and he was never a high strikeout guy. So with the shift ban, he he hits for average. He hits for home runs. The dude plays center field, first base. He could left hand DH. It's pretty much everything we need in one player. But I ain't paying him no 300 million. I heard rumors of like 8 for 200. That's almost more doable because I don't think we're signing Blake Snell. But we're going to need left-handed pitching. I'm not worried about pitching though. That's AJ's always found a way to get these pitchers without us knowing it, without other clubhouses knowing it. It's filling these holes in the offense, and we don't need superstar players. I don't think Cody Bellinger is a superstar. He's mid good, and we could really use him. But if not, then you move Fernando to center field, and you go get a good corner outfielder to play right field, and then you get more depth. You know, you re-sign Profar if he asks for a league minimum. You could re-sign Will Myers if he asks for a league minimum, and they can ride the bench and fill those gaps. Between Profar and Myers, they could play any position on the diamond. Myers will even pitch for you. So I think those two will be looking for cheap contracts and just an extra chance to rebuild their market. So at league minimums, I would take those two OGs. And I guarantee you anything that Myers and Myers and Profar would produce more than Carpenter and Cruz. Then that would be like $1 million a year, you know, and that's just the bench piece. You know, you get a legit center fielder, or you move Fernando to the center and you get a legit corner outfielder, kind of like a Jorge Soler or a Jock Peterson type. I'm not saying go get those two in particular, but a solid player, not a superstar, but a solid player to fill the position. And to have that at the bottom of the lineup, I guarantee you a total change. And we have Campy, if he stays healthy, he's our next all-star catcher. You know, he could be an all-star next year if he stays healthy, though. That's about it. I don't really care if we keep Sanchez, if Blake's leaving. I wish Blake could stay because he's our only left-hander, but the dude's a unicorn and he performed to a Cy Young level. He's going to win that thing more than likely, and I don't think we can afford him. So he's going to have AJ's probably going to have to go find another left-hander to come out of our rotation if he can't keep Blake. But yeah, payroll-wise, I don't see it happening. That's going to do it for this video. Talked a little too long. It's about almost 8 minutes. So peace out. I'm not good at talking in front of cameras, as you guys can probably tell. But got to get my opinion out there. Peace.